Welcome. Very glad to see such a big delegation from the European Union. It's a good sign of our cooperation, good sign of the involvement of European Union and its members into the regional affairs. As you know, our cooperation with EU is very successful. With many countries, I think with 9 countries of member states, Azerbaijan signed and adopted documents and agreements on strategic partnership. This, I think, is a very big achievement of our country because it's 1/3 of the member states. And this demonstrates that the framework of cooperation is really very broad. It covers many areas of mutual interest and mutual importance. 3 years ago, we initiated a partnership priorities document between EU and Azerbaijan, which supports territorial integrity, sovereignty, and inviolability of international borders of Azerbaijan. And this was a very important step towards agreeing on a comprehensive new agreement. Your visit to the region, as far as I understand, is devoted to the situation which now emerged after the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. In other words, the post-conflict situation is of importance because I think now, during this year and next year, the basic fundamental approaches of the post-conflict situation will be elaborated. Azerbaijan's position is very straightforward and clear, and I on many occasions already spoke about that we want to move from post-conflict situation to peaceful development and cooperation in the Southern Caucasus. Unfortunately, so far, we did not hear something similar from Armenian government. All our statements with respect to beginning negotiations on a peace agreement with Armenia are ignored by Armenian government. But probably the pre-election situation was not very friendly for making such a statement. But now, after elections are over in Armenia, we hope that there will be a positive response. And of course, I think that during your communications in Armenia, this issue also will be discussed, because if we don't have peace agreement with Armenia, that means we don't have peace. And we don't have peace not only between 2 countries, but also in the Southern Caucasus. But we need peace and sustainable development and predictability, zero risk of war. We don't need war, and we did not need war before. So I think that this is the areas where we can actively cooperate, and I'm glad that the European Union demonstrates its involvement in the regional affairs, and your visit is a clear indicator of that. We appreciate any involvement which serves the cause of peace, reconciliation, development and cooperation in the Southern Caucasus. With respect to the pre-war situation, I just want to press our position once again. Azerbaijan always was committed to peaceful settlement of the conflict with Armenia. And the very fact that we've been in the process of negotiations for 28 years, since the Minsk Group was established, is a clear demonstration of that. We wanted to resolve the issue peacefully, and we had hopes during different times of negotiation process. I was involved in the negotiation process since 2003. I held negotiations with 3 leaders of Armenia, and I can tell you that this was a very negative experience in any kind of negotiations held globally, because we clearly realized after many years of these useless meetings that Armenia didn't want peace. They wanted to keep status quo unchanged. They wanted to keep our lands under occupation forever. And their participation in negotiations was a kind of imitation of negotiation process. They were trying to mislead international and European organizations that they want to have a settlement, but Azerbaijan is not constructed. So what happened recently also totally is the responsibility of the Armenian government, which made a lot of provocative steps and actions and provoked the war. And there are a lot of evidences which can prove my position. I will bring you just a couple of examples. Armenian defense minister publicly said that Armenia is preparing for a new war, for new territories. That was an open threat towards Azerbaijan. Armenian Prime Minister said that so-called authorities of Nagorno-Karabakh should be part of negotiations, which actually was not against only our interests, but was against the format which was elaborated by OSCE Minsk Group and its chairs. Therefore, OSCE Minsk Group chairs countries also were a little bit surprised, to put it mildly, with this position, and they objectively considered it as an attempt to walk away from negotiation process, because the format of negotiations was established by two countries and by OSCE. It's a conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Another provocative statement made by Armenian leadership was that Karabakh is Armenia and that's it, which actually de facto put an end to any kind of negotiations. First, it was very contradictory statement, because on one hand, Armenian leadership was saying that Karabakh is an independent country and Azerbaijan have to negotiate with it, and then they say that Karabakh is Armenian. So we asked them where you are telling the truth. Actually, they were lying in both cases. But that was a very provocative statement which actually made any negotiation useless and meaningless. And during my meetings, several meetings with the Minsk Group ambassadors, I saw that they're also a little bit embarrassed and surprised with this position, and actually they didn't know what to do. If Karabakh is Armenia, then what to talk about? So that was a deliberate attempt of Armenian leadership to totally destroy negotiation process and to keep the lands forever under occupation. But that was not the full story. Then last year they made 3 provocative military actions on the line of contact and on our state border, killing civilians, shelling our villages, and provoking us. So the Second Karabakh War was inevitable, and it was clear for everyone. Now we are in the situation of post-conflict development. Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is resolved. There is nothing to negotiate about that. The trilateral statement which was signed on the 10th of November is not only a ceasefire agreement, as some international politicians want to present it. If everybody looks at that paper, everybody will see that it's not only about ceasefire, it's about many other issues. So we need to think about post-conflict situation. And again, as I said in the beginning of my comments, we are ready to turn the page. We are ready to move forward and to contribute to regional stability. And once again, I'd like to express gratitude for the visit. I hope it will be very successful, fruitful, and after your regional tour, definitely we'll be in touch through our embassy in Brussels, through our foreign ministry, in order to discuss our future plans. So, welcome once again.
Mr. President, it's an honor for us to have this meeting. We thank you so much for accepting this discussion. The presence of our three ministers, together with the special representative here and other colleagues from the External Action Service, is the result of debate we had in the informal meeting of our foreign ministers in May in Lisbon. It is a meeting that Romania has initiated to include a debate on the conflicts in the region on the agenda of the European Union. And at the end of that meeting, we concluded that the European Union is willing to do more and to be more involved in the region, on one hand, in the process of settlement of these conflicts. In the case of Nagorno-Karabakh, in the post-conflict evolutions, of course, if the parties agree on that. And our presence here is meant to convey a strong message of support from the part of the European Union for the stability and security of the region, to see what we can do in terms of post-conflict support in order for reaching, as you mentioned, a comprehensive settlement of all pending issues. But at the same time, it is a visit which is also connected to the preparation of the Eastern Partnership Summit at the end of this year. For the European Union, Azerbaijan has a very important role as a strategic partner in the energy field, the largest trade partner of the European Union. At the same time, it is the largest recipient of EU investments in the region. So for us, Azerbaijan is essential for the stability and prosperity of the whole of the South Caucasus, and we appreciate Azerbaijan as an example of tolerance, of multiculturalism, of interfaith dialogue, and I know that you have done a lot during your mandate to achieve that. It is also important for connectivity, and again, here there's a lot of space for discussion and future cooperation. And in terms of post-conflict developments, we are willing to learn from you, and we will of course visit Armenia, then we will go to Tbilisi as well, to learn from you what can we do in terms of, for instance, confidence building, in terms of post-conflict rehabilitation, in terms of helping the stabilization process. We have witnessed certain steps recently, the release of detainees, and at the same time the presentation of maps of minefields, and we are interested in supporting further such processes which are important for the confidence building.
Avstriyanın xarici işlər naziri Aleksandr Şallenberqi regionun post-münaqişə dövrünü yaşadığını vurğulayaraq, bundan sonra sülh dövrünə və dayanıqlı dinc həll mərhələsinə keçilməsinin önəmini qeyd etdi. Bildirdi ki, Avropa İttifaqının regiona, o cümlədən bölgənin iqtisadi sahəsinə böyük marağı var. Aleksandr Şallenberqi dedi ki, Avropa İttifaqı regionda bir çox məsələlər üzrə ATƏT ilə əlaqəli şəkildə fəaliyyət göstərir. Litvanın xarici işlər naziri Qabrielius Landsbergisi bir neçə ay əvvəl Azərbaycana səfərini məmnunluqla xatırladı. Həmin səfər zamanı bir sıra məsələlər ətrafında fikir mübadiləsinin aparıldığını qeyd edərək, bu dəfəki səfərin müzakirələrin davamı üçün imkan yaratdığını vurğuladı.